So why lose the business plan? So very important we understand it says not don't do the business plan, but once you've done it, to lose it. Because, I've seen so many thousands and thousands of business plans and they all look exactly the same. You're going to start in year 1, I need lots of money. Then, my trend is going to trend upwards by year 2, and year 3, I'm going to make lots and lots of money. They all look the same. Yet 96% of them will fail within a 10-year period. So there's something wrong. The business plan is obviously not an indication of truth. For me, the value of doing a business plan is that it makes you think through all the important factors in setting up the business. Your pricing, your competition, the market, your value proposition, etc., etc. So it forces you in a methodical way to think through the business to ensure that you at least have applied your mind to whether this indeed has a compelling economic right to exist or not.
Traditionally, the good advice was when starting a business is to sit down and write a plan on what's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years when starting your business. That sort of notion has a little bit been debunked both on the academic research side and the practical side. So sort of when I was reading all of these studies, I came across a lot of research that showed that actually writing business plans, big formal 40-page documents, was really a waste of time. So they did, for example, a study at Babson College where they followed 116 businesses over an 8-year period and found that those that wrote business plans were no more likely to succeed. And they've also done other big studies where they found that if a person really doesn't have management experience or industry experience and they write business plans, then they actually up their rate of failure. And the reason being is because if you don't really understand the industry, you put together this plan and then you try to stick to the plan, but all the assumptions and guesses in the plan are just wrong.
A business plan is a very important thinking process. But I often encourage people who come to me looking for investment that often what happens is, at the end of the business planning process, the best thing you can do with that plan is tear it apart and throw it away. Because there are a set of assumptions you make when you come up with a business plan that hold and are true for the time at which you make those assumptions. But all markets are dynamic. All markets are changing. And you identify a certain gap in the market and then a market in the gap. What happens is your competitors also see it. So if it takes you 3 months or 3 weeks to come up with a business plan, from when you started to when you end, the market's it's different and it's changed. So you think through marketing, sales, risk management, cash management, what's your balance sheet going to look like, how much overdraft are you going to need from the bank if you're going to need it, when are you going to need it, what's your cash flow cycle, who are you going to hire, where are you going to hire them, how is this business scalable, all of those issues. It allows you to think through that. But when you've done it, tear it apart and throw it away. And I think it's important to get into that discipline so you understand that a business planning process is a dynamic process. Every time you're doing it, you've got to get into the discipline of doing it again and again and again. And you've got to learn that no assumptions ever made in a business plan are holy cows and hold and are true all the time, every time, for any industry. If you cannot get into that, I think, discipline of being dynamic, then you're going to get into serious trouble.